Hello, everybody. This is Chris DeFurio with Keys to the Shop. Welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode is brought to you by La Marzocco, who's been making espresso machines by hand in Florence since 1927. So that's almost 100 years of making what I believe is just the foundational machine for the coffee industry. And I say foundational because I think you don't need to look far to prove to yourself that La Marzocco's ubiquitous presence in the specialty coffee industry. But that didn't happen by accident. It happened by them serving the needs of their customers in retail coffee shops just like yours and innovating and making sure that the equipment is so dependable and really addresses their day-to-day needs. That's why they've built the reputation that they have. And one of the great machines that they've put out there that kind of showcases this well is the KB90 espresso machine that uses straight-in locking portafilter technology that they've developed for their machine to help with ergonomics. There's the auto flush feature, which cleans your group head so it increases cleanliness and workflow. And then there's the built-in scales, so the accuracy of your extractions is improved. This is just one machine, and La Marzocco makes a lot of machines, all of which are available to you to suit your needs. There's a machine that fits your style and your needs perfectly, and La Marzocco is available to help you select that equipment. All you need to do is reach out to one of their salespeople over at info@lamarzoccoUSA.com, and I would encourage you to check out their website also. Awesome machines and awesome people over at lamarzoccoUSA.com. Now, today's episode is also brought to you by Espressly. Espressly creates custom branded mobile apps for your coffee shop. So your customers get the convenience of mobile ordering, but they're also getting that experience that they've come to know and love from your coffee shop by using this app because it's your app. You get to make it yours, and it feels like your company and your branding, right? It's a no-risk model. There's no setup or development fees when you work with Espressly. You get a drive-through payment scanner, receipt and label printing capabilities. All of the data accumulated is stored in the app, and it integrates with some of the world's best payment processing systems, of course, including Square. So this is a great opportunity for you to explore mobile apps if you haven't already. If you already have, but you're looking for maybe a better option than what you're using now, I would encourage you to explore Espressly. To sign up today and get started on your app, go visit espressly.co. That's espressly.co. Okay, everyone. Well, today I am going to talk with you about something that I get occasionally, either the insinuation of or outright question of, do I need to be better than my baristas or skilled in the ways that my baristas are skilled in order for them to respect me, in order for me to be a leader? And I got this question outright when I was having a conversation with somebody who was asking about consulting. And in this conversation, what was brought out in our as we talked was that they didn't want to have to be shown to not know coffee in front of their staff as they were opening this business. They wanted to be the ones who trained their staff. And the worry was that if the staff saw them being trained, then they wouldn't respect them because, it would look like, hey, they don't know what they're doing. And so if they don't know what they're doing and we do, like who's the boss here, right? So a few problems with that. And you might not be thinking that explicitly, but I think it's implied sort of in the way we behave as leaders. We feel the need a lot of times to know all the answers, for example. That's a manifestation of this idea, this false notion that you need to possess all of the traits and skills necessary to run the business, and so that if you could multiply yourself, you basically could do it yourself, right? But that's not the case. The coffee shop is run by a collection of people who have different strengths, and those varying strengths work together to create a coffee shop. There are going to be people who have different talents and different skills and abilities, and that's just part of it. And so the idea that you need to always be sort of better than your staff at something that you expect them to do, I think is misguided and stems from a lot of insecurity or lack of experience, especially I think maybe lack of experience in the coffee shop. Because I actually, as a barista of many years, don't really care if the owner knows how to pour a tulip or extract an amazing shot of espresso. I don't care. What I care about is that, yes, they can help out sometimes when necessary. And most of the times I want an owner who's actively involved in the coffee shop to help behind the bar. Anytime that happens, it's usually never in making coffee. Let's get that straight. Making coffee is something that you hire people to do who are in it, and they develop a certain sense and knowledge, intuition about what's the coffee doing and the rhythm and culture of the place. And you can't just airdrop yourself in there as an owner and expect that you're going to just perform just like a regular barista if you've not been working the bar constantly, right? Most of the time it's like I want them to maybe take the trash out, or they'll do dishes, or something that's more of a supportive role. And it's not so much a role of, trying to take on a task to prove to the staff, like, old man still got it, I can still pour me a mean cappuccino and all that stuff. It's nice, but honestly, most of your life as an owner, even sometimes as a manager, is going to be in this realm of it'd be better to let somebody else do it because they can probably do it better, because that's actually the focal point of their job. And I don't think that they're thinking about you any as lesser for not being able to do the pour overs and lattes and all that stuff as well as they can. I think that's misguided. You do need to know about coffee, obviously. Just look at sports for an example of this. Not every team in basketball or football, even gymnastics and other things, the coaches on those teams, often they are not athletic at all. They just know how to support an athlete. I want an owner and manager to support me. That's my role. That's how you gain respect. If you're concerned about, your reputation, it's more of a personal issue that you might be embarrassed about learning in front of people rather than a practical professional one. Really, I've said this before in talks, coffee shops have baristas who make coffee, and then they have managers and owners whose craft is people and the systems that support those people. So where I want a barista to make a consistent cappuccino and keep things clean in the cafe, and I want a manager to, help support that process, I want an owner to pay me on time. I want a manager to make a schedule that's sensible. I want the expectations communicated clearly. Just look at any of the leadership episodes and management episodes that we've put out there and think about what is the most important and most valuable contribution that you have in the cafe based on your position, and then let that kind of calm your nerves about the fact that you don't know how to do some of the things that you're expecting people to do. It's not your knowledge of how to do those things. It's your ability to support the people that you hire to do those things. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, I'm the manager, the owner, and the trainer, and so I have to do all those things. So I feel like I have to be exemplary at everything, right? I think you might have a point there, but still, the idea that you need to be better than your staff is, I think, not exactly right. Again, back to the coaches. You might bring somebody in and have knowledge, very deep knowledge of what you want them to do and how you want them to do it. And you train them to do it. And you have a willingness to help them in any way you can and to do it to the best of your ability. I think that is enough. If you're critiquing somebody's latte art, for example, I'm a latte art judge. I'm the head judge of Coffee Fest's latte art competition, and I've done that job for quite a while. I'm a 3-time latte art champion, and I've done a latte art DVD, if you can unearth that somewhere. It's pretty funny. But still, today, I can't pour some of the stuff that these people are pouring, and yet I will, go out on a limb here, but I've been told people respect our decisions because they know that we know in our minds what we're looking for, and we're judging fairly based on clearly communicated criteria that's consistently applied across many different competitions. So whether or not I can pour exactly what a competitor pours matters not. Because if that was the case, nobody could lead anybody. If you had to be perfect in everything, or better than everybody in everything in order to have an opinion on their work performance, we wouldn't get anywhere at all. That's just the way it is. So you have to know what value your role contributes to the overall picture. When you think, I need to know all these things, I need to do all these things, people will not have respect for me if I'm not the best barista in my cafe, reject it. Don't think that that's the case. It's not. No one wants you to be the best barista in the coffee bar, even though you really want to. That's on you. No one's asking you to be the best barista. They want you to be the best boss. They want you to be the best manager, owner, the supporting role, the coach. And if coach can throw down, great. If occasionally I pour a latte in between competition days and somebody happens to see it and they're just like, wow, Chris can still pour something pretty great. And I'll tell you that I can, Is it as good as some of the things that we see out there? No. Why? Because I don't do it. I'm not behind the bar anymore. I do this. I'm a consultant. I'm a podcaster. And I do get behind the bar when I'm doing training with people. But I'm not going to be as good as a competition level barista necessarily. I'm not going to be as good as a latte artist who's out there competing because my focus is different. You get the picture here, I think, that when you feel yourself being insecure about your position as a leader, know that you have to learn to tell the difference between something that you're putting on yourself versus what is needed, expected, and the highest contribution that your role actually needs to provide for the benefit of the business and the people in it. I think that you'll find sometimes that those things are quite different, and you can put that burden down. You can release yourself from that expectation and use all that energy now to focus on the people who need you to be amazing as a leader, a cheerleader, a coach, somebody who facilitates success. And I think you're going to find a lot more fulfillment in that than being the best barista in your coffee shop. So I hope that today's episode was helpful to you. I would love for you to follow Keys to the Shop on Instagram. It's just at Keys to the Shop. Really trying to get up to that 10,000 mark. We just passed 5,000 followers. That was awesome just recently, and really encouraged by the support of the community for Keys to the Shop. Thank you all for tuning into these episodes and listening. Remember to subscribe to the show, share it with your friends. And with that, I will see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break from Keys to the Shop.